All right, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. Today we are talking about my Pan That palette. We're on update whatever. I don't know, I've been working on it for a long time. I will continue to work on this palette for quite a long time. But this, I'm currently project panning or doing a Pan That palette for the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. So we will do pictures from last month and then this month. I feel like you guys might be able to hear the birds outside and it's just so pretty. It's like very springy. However, even though it's still like January here in LA, it feels very springy. So anyways, here we are. Here is the palette that I'm currently working on. And this is where we're at this month. Just to let you all know, last month, I believe, or maybe the month before, I'm not really sure, I can't remember, but I had finished this shade, this molasses chip. So now I have two shades gone. And so since then, I've been kind of just like playing around in this palette. Like I've not really stuck to a clear specific look per se. I have always been using Mocha. That's kind of my next really like focus goal shade that I'm trying to use up. Clearly it's the one that has like the most progress, although Divinity is getting up there, but that's like, I just use that to set my eyeshadow primer and then my brow bone highlight. And I will also use it in looks whenever I'm not using this palette. Like if the palette or whatever it is that I'm using for the day doesn't have a matte cream or white shade, then I go ahead and use this one. So this one definitely does get a lot more use than I think most other shades in here do. But yeah, so I'm using this to set my eyeshadow primer and brow bone highlight. And then Mocha has been like my concentrated transition shade. So I'm using Mocha for every look right now, and including sometimes I'll just do that on its own. Like if I want to, I've been trying to wear like a lot more of like red lips because I'm like, I need to use my bolder lip colors for sure. So yeah, that's been nice to kind of just use like a one shade look on that one. And then I also have been kind of like dabbling in, you know, the lid shades. I think one time I tried Earl Grey as like a lid shade. It's a very, very dark, deep look. So it's not always like the most, I don't know, easy or accessible look to do. It's not or appropriate. So yeah, I did that like one time. It wasn't like my fave look, but I know I can get a look out of it, so that's always good. And then I had been using Sprinkles. This shade right here, it's definitely like a really pale pink. Like it's like a very neutral pale pink. So it kind of doesn't look like much on the lid, which is great if I want something a little bit more subdued and like calm and like not super, super colorful. And then I've also been using Cotton Candy, which this one's definitely like a bit more of like, it's kind of one of the looks or one of the shades I have on there right now. It's more of a pop. There is definitely more of a pink hue to it. However, it's still not crazy on its own, but what I have been doing with it, because I'm trying to also incorporate some of the bolder colors in here, is I've been using Cotton Candy on the lid and then deepening it out a little bit with this shade Totally Fetch, and then just to give it like a bit of a hue, and then to really like actually deepen out the color, because this shade is like really, really bright. I've been using Bordeaux like over the top and at like the deepest level. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been using. And then of course too, Satin Sheets is what I've been using for my inner corner highlight, like for every look. Again, that also doesn't include, if a palette doesn't have like an inner corner, really nice poppy inner corner highlight, then I'll go ahead and use the Satin Sheets as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been tapping a little bit into Molded just because that has like some pan in it, but I've also been using Black Currant on one of the looks that I have for another, you know, project that I've been trying to get a look panned. So I've been using that to kind of deepen things out. And yeah, I've definitely been playing with the palette. I don't think I've like settled on anything yet. I mean, I think that Cotton Candy definitely is getting a bit of a dip in it, which is great, mainly because I have been doing that like Cotton Candy Totally Fetch look as often as I can. And plus with it being February, like pink, really pink looks is actually like really cute. So it's been an opportune moment for me to use it. So I've been like taking, I don't know, using the holidays and all of that kind of like to take that opportunity to go ahead and do that. So yeah, it's been fun. But again, I still don't think that I'm going to solidify, which is what I normally do, is like I create a look, I find it and I love it, and that's just kind of what I do with a palette. I do think that I am kind of leaning into the cotton candy being with the Totally Fetch being a look that I'm going to pan. However, it is just so bright. And right now my color, like I just don't have great lighting and so you can't really see, but it is really bright and really like poppy. And so if I ever want to wear like bold lip or do whatever else, it's not always the most appropriate look for all things. Or even it's a very bold look, so I don't necessarily always just want to like be wearing that. So I will kind of like say I'm going to continue to like dabble around in the palette. I think it will be a staple look for now, but I also, again, I'm reserving the right in case I just like get tired of it. But yeah, I'm gonna, if it becomes, you know, if I have to use this on a certain day, because also for those of you who don't know, I do alternate this. I mean, obviously it's not strict if I have like a really nice like wedding or something that I need to go to and like I don't want to have like a full face, and you know, I'll switch things up. But typically on the day-to-day, I use this every other day, and then I use other palettes and other things that I'm trying to pan and use those on those other days. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's what we're doing. We'll see how this continues. Mocha is still going to be there trying to expand. I am pretty close, I think, to hitting side pan. I don't know if I'll hit side pan on this, but it does seem like right on the bottom of the heart on either side, I could potentially hit a side pan or come really close to it for next month. It's a really, really dense shade. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens and where this goes. But yeah, I have been having fun with it, which is great. I don't think I'm gonna hit pan anywhere anytime soon with anything, again, other than maybe cotton candy. But again, we'll see how much I wanna continue with the bright pink look. I have done cotton candy like without using Totally Fetch. However, I feel like with cotton candy to like deepen it out, because I do think that it needs to be deepened out a little bit. Like there's not really a shade in here that transitions well. So that cotton candy into Totally Fetch into Bordeaux really does kind of like actually properly transition it a little bit. That's what we're doing. That's where we're at. And we'll see what ends up happening. And too, cotton candy is like not that hard of a shade to use. It's the Totally Fetch that's kind of worrying me in terms of the Totally Fetch and Earl Grey. And then of course all the other dark shades. There's like malted, black, Bordeaux, and then dark truffle right over here. Like all of those shades are really, really deep. And just considering how dense this palette is, I have a feeling those are the shades that are going to be left. I could, of course, totally just toss it out whenever I'm done with it, whenever I feel like I'm done with it, but I am stubborn and I do like to finish it. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I do think that those shades are definitely going to be the most challenging because like I am so pale and fair, like any type of deep shade on me like fully looks deep and dark. And so it really does like deepen and darken the eye look, which again is not a bad thing, but not always what I'm going for. Sometimes, especially as we're going into the spring here, I want a springy look and it to be light and lovely, which of course the pinks really help. But yeah, those darker shades I think are going to be like the biggest trouble, but we'll see what ends up happening. Anyways, that's what's happening. We'll see how this goes. I will be bringing in soon, I think probably by next month, because I only have like 4 uses left on one of the palettes that I have to use it 100 times. And I'm going to be bringing that, and I'll just be working on them in tandem with each other. Yeah, so that will be probably introduced next month as well. So we'll see how that goes and what that means for things changing on how I actually use this. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Exciting months ahead for sure. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope your pan, that palette pan, those eyeshadows, panning, all the panning things are going well. And yeah, have a good day.